What we chatting about? Yeah, there it is. Recording.
Yay, it's recording.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kenny.
I'm
She's
Kian.
Kian. We are MappChats.
Yes. And we'd like to greet you guys. Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Welcome to 2023, everybody. I hope you all survived 2022 because we sure did.
If you're watching this, then you definitely survived. And of course, we did, or we're ghost. Or technically, this could technically be 2022, and we just
pre-recorded everything.
But we're both dead now.
That's
but
right.
No, we are alive.
We're okay.
Yes. Anyways, as we greet you, as we are here today, we wanted to talk about what we are going to be doing new this year.
Yeah. What we would like to accomplish, things that we kind of like, what we want to do.
Yeah, I mean, so with the podcast, with the blog, but also with just
channel.
our everyday lives, our channel, of course.
So kind of like that's one of the more obvious thing is getting back our podcast / our YouTube channel up and running again, because I know we've taken a really huge hiatus and really just have not been able to do any of that stuff for the past couple of years. So we really want to be able to show you guys a few more things in our lives, especially with our new adventure here now in Florida. And hopefully we can show you guys some of our adventures like together, or also like with our current talks, and hopefully we can have some more topics we can discuss here at MappChats, because that was the idea of it.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine not most, but a lot of what you're gonna end up seeing is Disney things, or not Disney, I'm sorry, Universal things. One of us is in love with theme parks.
I love theme parks, and that was actually one of the things, I guess, like on my bucket list, is I've always wanted to become an annual pass holder. And at first, living in Nebraska, that was definitely not ideal, just because I think the closest park was in Kansas City. And I was like,
Which was technically probably closer than we are now.
Yeah, but I was also like, I don't really like that park a whole lot, so not really. When we were in Tennessee, the closest park actually was Dollywood.
Yeah,
and
my dad was an annual pass holder.
Yeah, your dad was, and actually
you would literally go there
just to walk around and listen to music, especially the gospel quartet.
He doesn't do roller coasters, so
He did the train, surprisingly.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was a train, like a literal train. I didn't understand why he was a pass holder, but we got him. It got his tickets for free, so it was like, hey.
It was really nice, though. No, I thought that was really cool. I mean, I honestly, for me, if I had my flexible-ish schedule now, I probably would, just because it was so close.
What flexible-ish schedule?
Huh?
What? You said you had flexible-ish schedule. What are you talking about?
I feel that my schedule here, or at least like my workplace here, is a lot more flexible for me to be able to take PTO if I need to. Yeah, so one of my bucket lists was actually to be an annual pass member to a theme park. And I felt that now that we are in Florida, that was very fitting, because Orlando may not be as close to us, but it's a lot more doable, and I guess like the parks there are a little bit more enticing. So yeah, we are annual pass members to Universal Studios. I also felt that was going to be a good start for an annual pass, because I think Disney is a little bit more expensive and maybe just a little bit more overwhelming. And for Kenny not really being a roller coaster kind of person,
nope.
He's more maybe like food and experiences. I feel that, again, with all those things, because this is the first time we're doing it, Universal was going to be a little bit more forgiving. So I don't necessarily want to go too much into detail on this one. Maybe later on I can do some breakdowns in terms of like how I planned all of this individually. And all we really want to say is look out for our next vlog, because you are going to be in for a treat for our park visit soon.
Yes. So, and also, I mean, with Orlando, my family does live down there, and
Yeah.
so it's, we go down there. I see my mom all the time. Uncles, cousins are there, so it's not
School friends now too, we found out.
yeah. I mean,
Especially when
I've
they're
known school friends are there, but yes, just re-meeting people again, after many years being away from Florida.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's exciting. I am also looking forward to it. I'll probably do a few roller coasters, or I'll get terrified and be like, never again. But I'll probably do some.
Yeah.
Um,
It sounds like kind of, I feel like it's more just like a good compromise, just because I like the whole experience of it, and if you don't necessarily want to do all of that, there's also a little bit of something in there for you. Like you could do experiences, you can do food. If you wanted to go down there just to actually like see family, I'll be like, hey, um, while we're here, maybe for the afternoon, if we're not going anywhere, can we go stop by there? Something like that. At least that's where my head goes.
yes, stop by a theme park. Not something I ever thought about, but yes, that's it. So one of the things for me this year, besides theme parks, is that I really want to take care of my health. I've never been really strongly like promoting myself as trying to be healthy, but that's something that I definitely want to do, need to do, especially as I'm getting older. Time is not on my side, and so like every time I eat like a piece of cheese, I swear I gained like 5 pounds, and so. I think this past year for me, like my blood pressure got like it skyrocketed. Like it previously, like in just throughout my years, it's always been relatively normal. And not me really doing anything to try to keep, in shape, but just my blood pressure was a normal youngish person's blood pressure. And then this past year, I think because of all the stressors that we went through, it really skyrocketed, and I was starting to feel actually some effects from it. I was starting to like have migraines and things of that nature. Yeah,
You
like
started to get more heartburns
yeah,
than
extreme
usual.
heartburn, and what was crazy was it wasn't it. I mean, it was tied to obviously what I was eating, but it wasn't like I was eating something extreme and then it would occur. I don't know, it would just happen, and so that for me was like, okay, I know I need to be serious about my health. And so it's not perfect, of course, yet, but it is a process. And I think part of the thing is trust is us, eating more at home, having Catherine cook a little bit more, but me also helping out and cooking something like that.
Yep. Because that's one of the things I'm just like, hey, like I'm also on a health journey together. I feel like our health journey is going to be a couples thing because we can help each other stay accountable. And I feel that I don't necessarily want to take all of the burden of cooking, even though that's like my main role as the wife. But I want to also give you more brain in actually
Yeah,
making
I mean,
food
I
at
also
home.
just don't cook like that.
Yeah, he
It's
just
not
doesn't cook
really my
either.
thing. So I mean, if
So
I was a cook, I would cook a lot more. I have friends, who are great cooks now,
I
and
usually
they
have
cook all
him
the
cook
time,
for
but
like
it's not.
big occasions, but
Yeah, I mean, for a big
you
like
don't do it like
American
me.
type thing, like so Thanksgiving, I cooked the majority of the dishes. And so, and I tend to cook for bigger portions. And what I mean, I don't necessarily mean like a bigger plate portion, but I just mean like bigger people.
So you
So
should
when
be
it's
doing
just
potlucks if that's what you're saying. So every
sure,
like
I could,
second
but I
Sunday
don't
you
want
should do
to.
it.
I could do that, but I don't necessarily want to take the time to do it. But I mean, I can do that more often. But either way,
Anyway.
so health is going to be a big thing. One of the things is I joined just one of the local gyms here. That's like right near where we live, so it's like a chain, so they're everywhere, which is great. So I can go there very often, and it's relatively cheap, which is nice. And Catherine can come with me as my guest all the time. Plus, I met one of a cousin that I never knew, actually met down here at church, in fact, and he enjoys like exercise and stuff like that. So him and a few other guys that we've met from the church, we try to get some activities going every now and again. Pickleball, huge thing. I mean, if you haven't heard about pickleball, Google it. It's taken this country by storm, it seems.
Yeah, everyone's doing pickleball. And so like speaking actually of pickleball, that's one of the things that I have on my health list of things I guess like to accomplish. I'm not sure if it's accomplished or not, but biggest thing is like I want to be able to learn how to play it because I feel like that's one sport that I can pick up much easily compared to racquetball because racquetball I think is a lot more
Yeah, it's an easier game.
It's difficult to do.
It's not that racquetball is more difficult. It's really
I cannot control that ball whatsoever. Like I can hit it back, but whether or not I can actually estimate where it's gonna go, no.
yeah. Pickleball is more impact.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, sorry. What did I say? Racquetball is more impact. Pickleball is a lot more low
It's more
impact.
chill, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reason why, like for me, is like, hey, it's a fun activity where I don't necessarily like feel as if I am working out. I get to learn a new sport. And my goal, my weird goal, one of my weird goals on it is hopefully be able to beat Kenny at least in one game this year. We'll
Yeah, I
see.
mean, it's possible. It's like I said, it's
We'll
not
see.
one of those things
I'm
that's
not
very,
good.
very
I'm not
hard.
good.
Like we were out there this last weekend,
Ooh,
and there was this older couple who just kept beating us. And then I even played with like another partner, not just
yeah. Technically
Kian.
the first game
And
because they weren't warmed up yet, but oh
no, they beat us every single time we played.
no, the first game, the first round.
Oh, did we beat
Mm-hmm.
them? Oh, well, okay. But I will say, fun note, I did play Catherine and another gentleman by myself, so it was like 2-on-1, and I did beat them very easily. So I think I'm not terrible, but
I'm a
like
terrible partner. I'm not good
no,
at
because
fish.
it's when you're playing a team sport, it's both of you too. Like so, it's not just one person. Because there's plenty of times when I would be more aggressive and go after a ball that I should have left for Catherine, and I messed up the point. So it's just
But then I also have, and that's kind of like for me, even though I'm still learning, I need to also kind of like go in there and just learn how to play, maybe. So
yeah. I mean, we'll be doing it again, so
yeah.
you'll get many more opportunities.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of like one of the fun stuff, I guess, like for me that I get to actually, as part of health, get to play new sport and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, I guess I mean, that's my big goal for this year for me is health. That once again, something I really want to take serious. Also, so I can just have my mom stop saying, "Oh, you look fat." So that'd be a nice thing to be able to accomplish at the end of the year.
Single visit is like, hey Kenny, you
Yeah,
look like you put on a lot of weight.
yeah. I'm
Sorry,
about the
I'm
same.
sorry, mom.
You know,
Terrible, terrible of impression.
although I
But
did put
anyway.
on some weight, so she's right at that. Although and she's lost weight, so I guess it's kind of hard to say much when everyone else around you is. But that's one of my goals for this year. There are some other things I'm trying to do, like with my I guess career or whatever, my professionalization in life, trying to take that more serious. I mean, the work that I'm doing, I really enjoy it. It is daunting at times because it's something that's so much more ahead of me, but or it's something that's I would say more grandiose than what I would picture myself to be doing at the moment. But it's exciting, and it's always when people ask what I do, it's always it's always a mouthful of trying to explain just what exactly it is that I do every day. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I like where I'm at, and so I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And so that's exciting. And fun note, I'll tell you off screen. So never mind to you people, you won't hear this. But anyways,
hear the fun note, but anyway.
Sorry, you won't hear the fun note.
Wow.
But that's like my
that's your
big
biggest
goal.
Thing.
Yeah, I mean my working on my career and advancing myself in that regard, and my health, of course. And then growing just in a relationship with people here and stuff like that. That's something else too.
Guess so. All right. Well, I guess I will share my goals because I feel that mine is a little bit more intricate.
Probably that's just
I'm a planner. I'm like a goal person thing. So to maybe help it make it nice and simple, I've broken my goals into 3 things because that's probably the biggest thing I can kind of like narrow down to.
Like 3 categories?
Yeah, sure. 3 categories, and within those categories are like subcategories into it. Like more just like within those categories, these are things that I want to do in order for me to fulfill that area. Does that make sense?
Hopefully. I'm gonna say it's we'll say yes.
Hopefully. So anyway, so those 3 categories are health, self-development or self-care, and my creative projects. Honestly, I feel as if like those are the 3 things that I even kind of like started out last year, but maybe some of the focuses or the way that I did or executed my goals last year, it was a little bit different. But I'm still keeping it within those three because those are the three that I've always kind of wanted to strive to improve in life. So those are my three categories. So health, since Kenny was talking all about like the health thing, for me for sure is I want to be able to like move more. So one of them is pretty much like, yeah, be able to play pickleball. Want to be able to learn that sport. In addition to that one, hopefully I can start actually getting up to at least 10,000 steps a day. Obviously I feel like as of right now that's something that I cannot usually accomplish just because I'm starting like out really low. So I'm trying to break it down within quarters where hopefully towards closer towards like the end of the year I am getting more habits into aiming for, I guess like getting 10,000 10,000 steps a day. So there you go. There's a goal there. In addition to cooking meals more at home, especially for us like to take for lunch, I also want to be able to make 25 new dishes or 25 new recipes that I've never tried before. I think it'd be really good for us to make some things like from scratch here. One of them is bread. I need that mixer. I need that mixer, babe.
Or bread.
You know, but
very exciting.
Yeah, but for me, it doesn't have to also be like successful. I would love for it to be successful because then it means like we can eat it, does not go to waste. But again, there's like 25 new recipes just to kind of like try out. One, it'll help us to actually explore more things to try out maybe together as a couple during date nights. Right. Two, it'll also hopefully like expand some of our palate because I know I've actually researched some dishes that we've never tried before. And three, maybe we can add something in there on our list to like make more on a regular basis. So I think that's a really fun adventure, at least like for me. Besides that, honestly, the other things I guess like in terms of the health for me is just tracking that progress. And so writing it down on my journal, writing it down on my organizer, just somewhere for me to track it so that way I can see my progress. So that's really it for the health category for me. I'm gonna go with creative projects next. I'm gonna save my self-care thing like for last because creative project I think is very straightforward. So my initial grandiose goal was to actually make 52 posts in a year.
Once a week.
Which is pretty much like once a week. So between all of the platforms that we have together, or maybe I guess like we have
mostly you,
mostly me, I really wanted to say like, okay, well, I didn't necessarily want to post in MappChats like every single week, and also in my channel Case Scroodles, follow if you want, every single week, because that's technically going to be what 104 videos in total. So the goal is just really like to be able to create videos, or at least like some kind of post consistently every week across all platforms, so that way we are actually keeping it at a good schedule, giving you guys like some content information, things like that, like throughout our lives. So I've kind of divvied it up where this channel is going to get posts every other week, and then my channel also is going to get posts every other week. That way it's kind of reasonable. And to also help me with that process, because it is actually a lot of work, I've recruited this man to actually step up his game, you know? And so I feel that you're going to be more involved in this whole process. So the whole podcast, I think, is going to be more your area. So
yes,
shall be good, right?
We'll see.
So
maybe something.
Exactly. So I'll be doing more of like the vlogging in this channel, and then my channel is obviously going to be a lot more of the kawaii journaling spreads and stuff like that. But yeah, besides that one, I think other creative projects that I have in there are mostly kind of like creative, like arts and crafts things. So one of the things I wanted to do was make my own Hogwarts scarf, because buying that from the park I think is probably nice and easy, but I don't want to necessarily pay for like a $47 scarf when I feel like I can make it.
Or we can sew my things back together. I would like that.
It could be. Oh my gosh. Okay, I will sew your jacket this weekend. I promise. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, that's pretty much like it, especially for my creative projects. And then last but not least, like my self-care, self-development is like my own personal growth. And it's for me, that area really is for me to be able to have balance for myself, because I really don't want to burn out the way that I did for the past like couple of years. So that self-care really is for me to make sure that, hey, I'm still taking time for myself. I am creating space throughout my weeks and throughout my schedules to really set aside, so that I'm recharging it in a way where I'm ready for what I'm going to tackle for that week. So one of the things I actually have there is make and create a flexible schedule where I can follow morning and evening routines. That does actually mean me waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, because that's really where I feel my, I guess, like my productivity, oh gosh, I can't speak. Productivity actually flows a lot better in the morning. So being able to go to bed at night in a decent hour, so that way I can wake up in the morning, that's one. Another thing that I guess is part of my self-care is my Bible. Take six. Another thing on my self-care development theme is my devotions, or my walk with God. That's something that I want to be more intentional with. And so not only do I want to have my devotions every single day, but I'm also trying to challenge myself in maybe speaking up a little bit more during discussions, during Bible studies, maybe not shying away from helping lead out if needed.
Great.
Because I know those are things that one, it's going to actually help encourage me to study the Bible more in a more intentional way.
Well,
right?
This week you could do.
Not this week.
Why not?
I didn't say yes to this
Jump
week.
into the fire.
Maybe I can. That's apparently what my life has been. But yeah, those are things that I feel like would really encourage me, because I don't necessarily want to always like be passive with my walk with Christ, especially with Bible study. So I feel that me being more intentional and being willing to kind of do all those things will hopefully like help out.
Yeah.
And then last but not least is I want to still be able to continue reading books. Or listening. I would say listening more, because right now audiobooks is my life. I prefer listening to books at this point, because I can listen to it like during work, I can listen to it during drives. And actually last year I only aimed, I think, maybe like 10 books throughout like the whole year, and I actually ended up finishing about almost close to 20 books last semester, last year. And it's all about like audiobooks for me, because that's what really helped out. So this year I am aiming for 15. I think 15 is very reasonable, but I know I'm probably going to surpass that again. But at least if I have 15, that'll be great. But the twist on that is I want to broaden my topics, because last year I felt that all of the books that I've read, or most of the books that I've read, were all fiction. I like fiction, I like stories, but this time around I want to actually broaden like some of those topics that I look into. So I'll still stick with maybe 5 fictions. I want to do 5 nonfiction books, and also 5 current time books. Current times.
What's current time?
More kind of like what's happening with today's things. So
like
maybe,
socioeconomic type of thing.
Maybe I don't. Yeah, I've actually looked at some books. I can't tell you necessarily the title, but current events, like whatever is happening, like with current events, current times. So that way I am a little bit more well versed with our world. Who knows? So that's the other thing. And I guess the other thing here on my list is, I said doodles.
Oh yes, to make doodles.
Like
noodles.
Yeah, that's right.
But water.
I guess it's more kind of like a downtime thing. I want to be able to just like practice on some of my drawings. But it's just more like, hey, take some time to kind of like doodle. I like to create like my own stickers sometimes, and I would like to actually make my own stickers one day. So maybe those doodles will come up with something.
That's an awesome That's what I do.
Yeah. But anyway, those are actually my goals. I would like to preface that I know some of my goals are very ambitious. So for me, my plan usually, how I execute my goals is, obviously I plan for something at the very beginning of the year where I look at all my goals as a whole. But I usually revisit my goals every quarter to see and plan how I'm going to execute it. So for the first like 3 months, I have like these goals. So for these three, what do I aim for those three categories, and what should I do in order for me to tweak it after those, like after that quarter is done, to see how I can either improve it or how I can actually challenge myself even more, all those different things. So for example, like I know my whole thing is to be able to walk 10,000 steps a day, right? As of this point, I can't do that right now. I'm coming last year from like 6,000 steps. I really set like the minimum, and that's what I'm used to. So for the next 3 months, I'm aiming for at least like 8,000 steps. Hopefully next quarter I can up that. Hopefully next quarter I can up that.
Yeah.
So starting small, because really I want for these habits to actually become part of my lifestyle. It's not just I'm gonna accomplish it and then that's it. So I want for it to actually stick, be part of my lifestyle. So I'm starting slow but steady. Progress shall be made. So I'll be revisiting these goals, and if that's something that you guys are actually curious like to see, like how my progress or maybe our progress is like, just let us know. Maybe
Yeah, I think
I'll be happy to share it, but if not,
I will. I mean,
go at least to my channel, and I'll probably cover that on my channel. Yeah,
I may do a cameo on her channel.
probably.
So. Yeah, well, that's kind of it. I mean, as you had a lot of goals, I had a goal or two.
And dragged him in the couple, so.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's all about trying to be a bit more intentional this year.
Yeah.
That's my big thing, and I mean, there's other things I'm trying to accomplish too. Not necessarily everything I want to say, to everyone, but yeah, I think being intentional this year, that's going to be a big thing, and really focusing on what's important. Trying to build relationships here, that's obviously a big thing, and having fun. Honestly, that's gonna be just. I mean, that's kind of part of our lives, I think, anyways, having fun. But yeah, just
enjoy life,
taking care of ourselves. Yeah. Anyways, well, thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
I guess this is our first one for 2023. But there, as she has said, many more to come. It'll be interesting to see how the channel evolves, how we evolve, and yeah, if you want to, talk to us, let us know anything. You can always put it in the comments below. I believe that's how it works. I never, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.